don't think you cannot think of suicide. Anyway, everybody is, or everyone and anyone can actually think of suicide. But then today we'll be looking at something to help us prevent it, right, Justin?
Yes, we will be looking at suicide prevention this morning on the first half of the show, and we have a regular here, a certified life coach, Benga Ademujimi.
All right, how are you?
We're doing
Fine.
well, thanks
Good
for joining
morning.
us, Benga.
How's your week?
It went
So far,
well.
it's been good.
From Monday to Thursday.
It's been good.
It's been
It's
good.
been good.
So-
And that is, yes, you want to say something?
Suicide prevention. Would you say over time and recently that the rate of suicide incidents in Nigeria is increasing?
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've seen some pictures and videos going viral, flying around in the last 1 week about our people in Libya,
Yes, we
about Africans in Libya, especially Nigerians. And it's sad, and for me, as a professional, these are signs, these are things that you know, that when somebody see, if there was a particular video that a friend of mine said, please, I cannot watch this. It was so disturbing. And let me say this. Nigeria, from World Happiness Report, we ranked 78th in the world, second in Africa in 2016. But in 2017, this year, we became 6th and 103rd in the world. That's World Happiness Report. In the first quarter of 2017, we recorded suicide cases. The one that involved the 500 level student in Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Oshogbo. The one at Babcock, and of course, the popular one on Tombilan Bridge, the medical doctor. Now, World Health Organization report, there are 322 million people living with depression in the world. That's number one sign, that's number one cause of suicide. Because we're going to look at the causes, the symptoms, and the way out.
Okay.
Now, in the World Health Organization suicide ranking, Nigeria with 15.1%. That is, out of every 100,000 population, there are 15 people living with suicide temptation
Because of depression.
because of depression. No, because of so many factors.
So many factors,
But depression is just one of it.
Okay.
Probably number one. Now, Nigeria also rates 10th in Africa after countries like Togo, Burkina Faso, Zimbabwe, Central African Republic, Sierra Leone, and all that. Now, as of today, 7 million Nigerians are prone to suicide.
7 million.
7 million.
That's alarming.
Very
Today.
alarming.
7 million. So, what are the causes? Number one, depression. They are depressed. What is depression? Some few weeks ago, we talked about depression here. Sadness, feeling down, having loss of interest or pleasure in things, and all that. So, this is without question the most common reason people commit suicide. Severe depression is always accompanied by a pervasive sense of suffering, as well as the belief that escape from it is hopeless. The pain of existence often becomes too much for severely depressed people to bear. People are depressed. That is the bitter truth. You see them around the streets, see them in churches, mosques, schools, Now we have depression in children. Depression in teens. Number two, mental illness.
Benga, just before we leave depression, and what you just said just struck me. Teens and children
Yeah.
are getting depressed. I mean, what could they know about that could make them get depressed?
Okay. Let me give you this example. A child that you've exposed to only traveling for summer abroad, suddenly the father or the mother lost the job and there is not enough resources to take them for summer. What do you think will happen? And the mother or the parents are not mature enough, or they are not professional enough to engage some counseling skills in talking to their children. That, you know what, we may not be able to go for summer in America this time around due to 1, 2, 3 reasons. But hopefully, you see, and that is why you see bonding in family is critical. I've said this several times here that families should have what you call family constitution, like my brother will put it that family constitution. There are principles, there are values, there are virtues, there are visions that are guiding your family. So when a child who is exposed to that kind of life, suddenly, what do you expect?
Okay, but do you not think that peer pressure sometimes could add to this?
Peer pressure is under all these things that we are talking about, because they are more exposed to their friends in school than what they see in the house.
They have a bully.
Yeah, of
bully,
course. You know, so it is the function of the parents to talk to them from time to time. What we have exposed our children, I've said it and I'm saying it again. For your children to drink water is their right, but for them to drink juice is a privilege. We've given a kind of impression, false impression to our children that is not sustainable. And it's high time we need to correct those things. Do you understand? Have I answered your question?
Yes, you have.
All right. Mental illness like anxiety, bipolar disorder, you know, that is someone who is not stable, you know, mood fluctuates, you know, he tells you something in the morning, he tells me something else in the afternoon, he tells you something else in the evening, you know, depression, like I said. And you see, that is what we call the psychotic. Now, this is a kind of malevolent inner voice, often command self-destruction. Now, the religious term or religious language for that is manipulation, or they are manipulating him from somewhere, or they are calling his name from somewhere. For example, somebody who just woke up in the US and went to the airport, bought a ticket, and came home straight with the jeans, slippers, and t-shirt on him, without bringing anything, only his passport. Do you understand what I'm saying? Say, oh, you've never seen something like that? No. Oh, okay.
I've heard.
You've heard it? They are around, sir. Not that I've seen, not that I've heard. I've been involved in such cases. That it is when he gets here that his mind now comes back. In fact, some will never recollect or come back to their senses till they die. Do you understand? So as Africans, we believe that that is a spiritual manipulation. So in other, it's called, that's psychotic, or you can call it a schizophrenia. You know, that is, these are medical terms that, you know. So they believe that that is an inner voice, a kind of malevolent inner voice that is talking to you, but it's not talking to you to go and buy a brand new car. He's talking to you
the negative.
To go and hug transformer, jump into that river, just jump into that trailer, you know, doing all manner of things to take your life. Then they are impulsive. They are impulsive. You see, often related to drug, alcohol. Some people become impulsive, attempt to end their own lives and all that. Then they have a philosophical desire to die. The decision to commit suicide for some is based on a reasoned decision, often motivated by the presence of a painful terminal illness from which little to no hope of, I mean, you can imagine somebody, they just, oh, you have cancer or you have HIV. You know, some people cannot, they are not strong enough.
Their thresholds to...
it's too fragile,
yeah.
You understand? The next thing...
Let me just end it all.
In the news last night, there was this man who was in the court of Hague, who was...
Yes, when they were about reading his verdict.
Yes, he drank poison.
Yes, I heard that. I saw that.
In the court, inside the court, he drank poison. Before they took him to the hospital, he'd gone. Yeah. Then some people say because they've made some tragic mistakes, you know, they've made some silly mistakes in the time past, that they want to take their lives. It's not enough. Traumatic experience, physical abuse, bullying, like you said, sexual abuse, war, social isolation, loneliness, unemployment, genetics. Okay.
When you say social isolation, as in Is it a conscious thing on their own part, or they were just isolated by people around them?
Being isolated by the people around them.
Around them,
Okay,
yeah.
not that they decided to.
Once they decide to be isolated, or they isolate themselves, that is symptoms.
Okay.
That's part of the symptoms that he or she is prone to suicide. Do you get it now?
Okay.
That's the other side. The first side is that people decide to they say abandon. Maybe somebody has terminal illness or terminal disease, and like, oh, he cannot regain, or give him 3 months. So the family just abandon him in the hospital, or they just, you understand what I'm saying? Like the old age people abroad, I mean, we don't have too many in Nigeria. Even the few ones that we have is being run by NGO, by private people. I've not seen anyone that government provide. Over them, government will provide old age, you know, and the children will be coming there maybe once a week to check them.
Yeah.
You understand? Then maybe one parent had done something that hurt you in the time past. You now abandon that parent, that, oh, she's not my mother again, he's not my father again. I mean, that's social isolation. That's isolating your mother or your father.
Yeah.
I remember when I told my mom not to work again, that I'm going to be responsible for her monthly upkeep. She replied, do you want me to die young? So for her, not even going to that shop, whether she sells or not, whether customer comes or not, for the mere fact that she goes to that shop, sit there, I mean, play with people around, gist, laugh, watch whatever on TV, listen to radio, is enough to keep her life. You know what I'm saying? So isolation is, I mean, loneliness kills. But you see, what many people call loneliness is not actually loneliness.
What is it?
Now, being alone is not loneliness.
Okay. You might be alone, but you're not lonely.
You are not lonely. Thank you, sir. Okay. So many people feel because they are alone, they are lonely. No.
You can actually be surrounded with people
You can,
and still be lonely.
thank you. You can be surrounded with multitude of people and still be lonely.
Yeah.
So it's a mind thing. It's a mind thing. As a matter of fact, you don't need many people around you to feel that you are surrounded by solid substance.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes, we do.
And that's why Yoruba will say, I mean, hundreds of teeth may not crack bone, but if your teeth is just 2, they are white and they are strong, they will crack bone. You understand? Genetics or family history.
Really?
Yeah, it has been proven.
Also, if you have
Family
someone
history.
in your family who
Yes,
who
yeah,
been suicidal,
yeah, because the life of a man is in his blood.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. So that's the interpretation of DNA. You understand? The financial problems, debts.
Okay. Yes.
Remember the woman, the woman at after the bridge now. What do you call it? When you are going to Yaba from the Tomberland Bridge, Adekunle, the woman that was rescued, who was owing the microfinance set up in her area, 100,000 or 150,000 naira. She jumped into the lagoon because of debt. Thank God for the fishermen who quickly rescued her. So that, I mean, then previous suicide attempts, substance abuse, incarceration, poor job security, or low levels of job satisfaction, history of being abused, being diagnosed with a serious medical condition, being socially isolated, I mentioned that one, being exposed to suicidal behavior. We should watch what our children are watching. Please, these cartoons of a thing, these movies and all that, watch it. Listen, even adults, at times, do you know, in the course of the week, somebody told me that something just came to him to smash an iron pot on the wife. And I said, did she offend you before? She said, not really, but that he was watching a movie and a wife offended the husband, and the husband carried the iron pot and smashed on the wife of the wife's head, and the wife collapsed. That immediately the flashback of what the wife did to him some 10 years ago, because it was the same thing that the person did in the movie, was what the wife did 10 years ago. The thing came back, and I said, you need serious professional counseling, therapy. You need to sit you down. That thing is still in your subconscious mind 10 years ago up to now. Do you get it?
We do.
So I said, what did you do? He said immediately he controlled himself and walked out of the house.
Wow.
Just last week, somebody was talking to me.
Okay, but I like us to bring up a case here now. When I was in school, I have a very close friend who said she was babysitting her nieces and nephews. And one fateful afternoon, she was supposed to go out to shop. But she was feeling too dizzy too. And so all of a sudden, she decided to drag herself up and go to the market. But on stepping out, she heard voices. The children were playing. And all she could hear was one saying, hurry up, the thing is entering my eyes. And then she opened the door and saw them. One was seated on the seat like a king. Another was holding a log of wood.
They were acting drama.
Yes. And another had kerosene poured on him. And one was trying to light a match. And what were they acting? It was Isakaba.
Wow.
And
Isakaba, that old movie.
Yes. And so as soon as that played out, they had to ban them from watching African Magic or any other movie. But before then, she had to, she beat the hell out of them that day. Then why would you put to practice what you watch?
What you watch.
What you watch.
But you cannot blame them, because you remember 64 to 74% of what retain in your memory is through visual.
You see.
Yeah.
Visual is powerful, and that is why you see the children with learning style of visual, they perform, better, because especially the ones who combines auditory and visual, they always perform better. Visual is powerful. Imaging is powerful. I said it, and I'm saying, imagination is the only nation you travel to without a visa. You are traveling. As you are imagining, you are traveling. You are traveling. You are traveling. So we need to be careful. We need to caution our children. If those things could have effect on adults, how much more the children?
Okay.
All right.
But I'd like to ask you a question. In a place where this is already is founded in them already, how do you correct
that? Is a way out. I'm going there.
Okay.
Now, number one, watch out for these symptoms. Number one, once the person is feeling hopeless, he's feeling trapped, he's feeling lonely, feeling anxious and agitated. As they are feeling, they are saying it. They are talking. At times they'll be talking, you will ask them, what did you say? They will say, hey, what did I say? They will not know.
But some people, sorry to just, some people, they actually act in complete contrast, When they're with people, they tend to feel like they are the happiest people, as if everything could not just
but once they get inside,
when they're in their own, in their
will
closets, they cry, and sometimes they try to send messages before they know. They're like, who would understand what I'm going through? Who's with me? But when they're with people, they
make up.
Yes,
that's part of bipolar.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's another side of bipolar, and that's more dangerous, because you cannot read except a professional, somebody who is a professional, or a professional therapist or counselor, listen to you. You see, there is a difference between hearing you and listening to you. When you are talking, I'm analyzing your information, I'm analyzing your statements, everything you are saying, and I'm watching you, I'm reading your body language. So if you are deceiving me, I will know, because I've been trained to know that. So it's very, that one is more dangerous, and I'm going to tell you the way out. All right, think of suicide as a way out. Feel as if there is no reason to go on living. Why am I living? What am I living for? Like somebody he came from the US to Ibadan, opened a big shop in Adamasingba that year, and he went out to go and buy them food. Before he came back, the whole house had burnt, the wife and the children, 4 children and the wife, burnt. Or how do you explain somebody who traveled, and while coming back, in his presence, the wife and the children died? How do you explain that? So there is enough reason for that person to say, what am I living for? Now, they experience mood swings. They abuse alcohol and drugs, making a will or giving away personal possessions. They give away personal possessions when it's not right. They make a will when it's not right. Searching for a means of doing personal harm, such as buying a gun, sleeping too much or sleeping too little, eating too little or eating too much, resulting in significant weight gain or weight loss, engaging in reckless behaviors including excessive alcohol and drug consumption, avoiding social interaction with others. That's what you are saying the other time now. Expressing rage or intention to seek revenge.
Intention to seek revenge.
Revenge. When you see somebody seeking revenge, you need to quickly help that person. He's on his way to suicide.
He doesn't really care what happens to him.
Yes, he doesn't. At that point, he has given up. Now, these are the way out. Number one, be proactive. Speak out. Talk to someone around you. Whether the person is a counselor or not, whether the person knows, just talk, just speak out at that point. Number two, remove potential means of suicide immediately around that person. Get rid of suicidal instruments or weapons. Okay. Do you get it? In fact, I read something online and it says in a particular area, every night they advise the families in that community that every night remove knives, all those things in the kitchen, lock the kitchen, and ensure you don't keep the key where people can have easy access.
Okay.
Yeah. Pay attention to warning signs. Lifestyle change. Advise that person on lifestyle change. That is, exercise regularly, sleep well, rest well, avoid alcohol and drugs. Then book an appointment with a certified professional therapist and never skip your appointments.
Okay.
The first aid is quickly talk to the person. Once you observe, whether the person talk to you or not, you observe. Just quickly talk to the person. And one of the ways, there is a way you talk to them is different from the way I will greet you.
Yeah.
For example, when you see the person, you say, you stay calm and speak to the person in a reassuring tone. Do you understand? That is the way you talk to someone that the person will know, you can say, oh, I've been feeling concerned about you lately. Recently, I noticed this. Is there anything that you would like to talk about? Oh, my friend, you see, some people, like the example you gave, that they will use bone face, you understand? Don't give up. They will insult you, don't give up. I received that a lot. Yes, when I observe. They will insult you, don't give up. With time, the person will realize that you genuinely love him or her and you want help for him or her.
All right, let's talk about suicide watch now. For people who are suicidal or who have committed suicide and of attempted suicide and they actually failed, what would you do with those people? Because most of the times I hear that you don't leave such people alone because they might tend to want to relapse into the suicide again.
Yes. I mentioned it that the causes, if there is a suicide record,
Okay.
there is tendency for that person to want to repeat it. So wisdom demands, and professionally we tell people, don't leave that person alone. Don't, at every point in time. At the place of work, ensure you get someone who is like, watch over. But beyond that, you help that person by giving him audio tapes, videos that are motivational, that are inspirational. So every time as he's driving, he's listening to those things. So if there is any inner voice that is coming, this can counter it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? At work, at place of work, help the person to load his laptop. So when he gets to the place of work, then you call the person from time to time. It's a serious responsibility.
But
you call him from time to time, you send message, hope you've listened to that particular CD I gave to you, hope you've listened to that one I downloaded for you. Please, just try and watch it. It's not much, it's just 10 minutes, watch it.
But in a situation whereby the person, because I've seen some of these people, they tend to bottle up.
That's what I'm saying.
So how do you make them talk?
You don't give up.
Okay.
Once they don't, they may not talk to you because you may not speak their own language. So that's why we recommend talk to professional counselors, professional therapists. There are people that are trained. Thank God, because of awareness and enlightenment, we are many now. Only that it's Lagos and many of us are concentrated, you know. But we've been going around, you know, we go around the country to create awareness and talk to people, you know, under NLP, that's neuro-linguistic programming. You know, we are few certified across the country, but we are training people. By the grace of God, next weekend we are starting a training now for another 20 people in our own academy to certify them, so that we can send them, you know. Now we have people, I mean, Larry Lushola is there, Prince Owe is there, Zuriel is there, Priscilla, even Akinola Akinropo, the parenting coach that last week, you know, we are around, and, you know, people are all, you know, Akwa Ibom, Abuja, Port Harcourt, you know, those states. We are spreading our tentacles so that we can be of help to people. Yeah. So the best thing is get a therapist. Just go online. Just type, you know, in Nigeria, all our names will come and our contacts.
Okay, but what's the duration of healing for these people?
It depends on the depth of what is actually wrong with the person. Then the temperament also is part of it. You cannot compare a choleric or a sanguine nature to a melancholy or phlegmatic. Yeah. You understand? You know, some of us, when they tell you A, they would think about that A. They would think. Some of us, when you insult us, it doesn't matter. That does not mean we will not drink together the next few minutes. You understand? So it depends on the
And is it sure that they can actually get out of this state?
Hey, people get out of
normal life.
Oh, Uche, people get out of depression on a daily basis. As I'm talking to you, some of our people are working on some people on family, you know, on even ministers, pastors, imams. I mean, children, teenagers. People get out of this thing every day. It's there is a solution. Trust me. Now we launch an app this week called Navigator Life Coach. If you download it on Google Play Store, it takes you automatically to coaches around. It's first aid. In case you have any problem, somebody will attend to you within the next 2 to 5 minutes.
Okay, that's good. Real time. All right, let's just leave it at that. Well, just in case you still have any questions for Gbenga. Gbenga is still in the house on the suicide and prevention, but we're going to take a bit of a breather. And when we come back, we'll be looking at something completely different. We'll be focusing on the family. Again, I want to look at why couples quarrel and how to stem all those quarrels in a moment when we return. Stay with us.
Sorry, Galaxy, sorry, please, in case anybody is having issues, please just get to Galaxy. I mean, they will direct you to our office. As a matter of fact, we have an office just 2 streets away from here. You know, I mean.
So you like you said, if you have any complaint,
and if you come there on a Thursday morning, it's free.
Okay, so just send us a message. Just send us the regular numbers that scrolls on the screen, or you can actually interact with us on our social media platforms on Facebook.